during the election period?
I think that, and again, I want to differ a little bit with what my colleague is saying. It's not as simple as we would like to argue that yes, there was a certificate, yes, there was what is the intent when the framers of the Constitution were talking of a simple, verifiable electoral process? What were they talking about? Mm-hmm. It's not a process, it's not a form, but content as well. So to suggest that this should only be accessed by IEBC, what informs that opinion from the Supreme Court? Let me say this early. When you read the entire judgment by the Supreme Court, they believed everything that IEBC said. They took it for gospel truth. Anything they explained, they said yes.
But there were processes. There was
I'm coming to that.
The transmission.
I'm coming to that. They believed it. That's a fact. That when you look at it, everything IBC said is believable, and that is something to be said. To the extent that certain paragraphs are saying that IBC strongly denied, so that some of the language that's coming in is subjective. So when I was talking about language, when you use certain language like hot air, when you use certain language like wild goose, you are being subjective, and from a court perspective, you are already pronouncing a subjective position. So that what you are saying is that we are dismissing this because it didn't.
Does it change the language you use to express the same thing you want to express?
Language helps us to communicate what we are saying. So, for example, in a judicial process, all we need to say is that there was no merit or there was no supporting evidence and so on, so that again you are not subjective or judgmental around it, because, and they have said it, in 14 days or 3 days of litigation, it's hardly likely that sufficiency has been engaged to actually get to the bottom of some of to make some of these conclusions. But that said,